offensive to name sports.
Shalom, Mashpaka, Yasha here. First off, we're going to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashama Mashak Yahushai, Bashama Kadash, double honors to the elders, GMS, and learn this truth from. Peace and salutations to the brothers out there pushing the word and truth and sincerity. Alright, so I just came across this video. He's doing it as a joke, right? But the intent is it's just super deep and spiritual what he's actually saying, because what he's saying is, like, he's basically admitting, I'll play it first and then I'll go over it. All right.
Teams after Native Americans. Teams should only be named after winners. Now, you don't have to be a historian to know that when it comes to Native Americans, well, over the years, they got a lot of L's. Way more L's than W's. It is offensive to name sport.
Right, and that's pretty much it. So it's deep because he thinks he's making a joke, right? Saying that Native Americans took L's, right? When in fact how these guys actually won or defeated Gad and these other brothers here over here is they would fucking, pardon my language, they would get their butts whooped, right? And then they would sue for peace, right? And then they'd be like, yeah, come on over here to Washington, D.C. We're going to show you a real good time. We're going to have a lot of peace pipes. We're going to do it real grande style. We're going to sign a treaty and we're going to live in peace, right? And then, God being trustful, he'd go over there with chief and everybody. All leadership would freaking go over there. And then what would they do? They'd arrest all of them and murder them. That's how these demons got their wins. They'd get their butts kicked on the battlefield, then sue for peace, and when everybody showed up, they'd arrest them and murder them. That's how they got their W's. All right? And he's saying, oh, sports teams shouldn't be named after them because, you should name them after winners. We the ultimate winners. Let me get that right quick, yo. A troop shall overcome them, but in the end, they gonna overcome. Watch and see, man. God gonna come back like gang.
Teams after.
Let me get that real quick. All right, God, troop. All right. Genesis 49:19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. In the end, we gonna win this. And his prediction about naming it after winners will become true. These demons, they think it's this funny. I actually just saw another one. Let me show you this one. This one was actually
It is offensive to name sports teams after Native Americans. Teams should only be named.
Shut up.
Hawaii is the most beautiful place on earth. Hawaii is the most beautiful place on earth,
one, right?
by far.
Listen to this, okay?
Hawaii is also the most racist place in America. Easily. Here's the thing, though. The only racist to white people. I don't know what you did, but you really pissed them off.
What they did was this, right? They went, there's a video on YouTube that went into this really deep, and it's fucking just, goes to show this devil, man. They went in there and they wanted that land. So they went in how they normally do, like they're friends. Okay. Then they staged a coup against the monarchy. And the monarchy, of course, fought back. And when they fought back, they used that as justification to send in the freaking Marines. And then the Marines went in there, murdered the king, kidnapped the queen, brought her over here to America, forced her to marry some asshole, and she died over here, alone and miserable. And they took the whole land of Hawaii and basically asked the U.S. government to annex it to become a part of the United States. That's how Hawaii became a state. That's why the Hawaiians hate them so fucking much. They stole the land, literally stole it. So when this guy, Governor DeSantis, talks about, because that shit is pissing me off. Shut up. All right, let's get that here. DeSantis, America.
for the latest must-haves. And every season's nice.
And so we are in a state of emergency.
I don't like this. Yep, pardon my language. I don't like this dude, man. Let me get another video. I can't stand this dude. It's on my nerve. Here we go.
Florida statutes require teaching all of American history, including slavery, civil rights, segregation. It's important that that's taught. But what I think is not good is to scapegoat students based on skin color. It's not good to distort American history. I'm proud of our history. I don't want to teach kids to hate our country. I don't want to teach kids to hate each other. And the way to stop discrimination on the basis of race is to stop discriminating on the basis of race.
We ought to teach facts in our schools. We ought to teach the truth in our schools. There's an old expression, Ron. Those who don't know history may be condemned to repeat it. Usually people use that in reference to the Holocaust. It could just as easily be referenced to slavery in our country. It happened. It's a fact. We shouldn't have a whitewash approach to educating our children. That's not right. How are they going to...
But it is a whitewash approach because they have it starting. They have so-called Black history here starting at slavery. They don't talk about before that. They sure as hell not going to tell us that we're Israelites. They're not going to teach the truth about Native American history, so-called Native American history, that they're also Israelites. They're sure as hell not going to teach so-called Hispanic history, that they're Israelites. They definitely won't teach that Hispanics were enslaved just like so-called blacks were enslaved. They're not going to teach that. Most of us in the truth don't even know that, right? Go look up a book called what's his name? Allende, Tears, Open Veins of Latin America. You'll get a nice little understanding of the tortures that went on in so-called Hispanic lands. All right, it was brutal. All right.
Do well in life that they don't even know our own history. And we're not going to teach people to hate each other in our schools. I don't know where you get that idea. I don't have hate in my heart. And I don't think we need to be doing that in our schools.
They're going to make that dude win, though. Charlie Chris, they're going to give it to him. I don't think that's...
Little and white.
You're an oppressor. If you're black, you're oppressed.
Americans are looking at the radio saying, huh? Excuse me, say what? Would you like to hear it? Here you go.
It actually, if you look around the country, they do have programs, unfortunately, well, they will take a student, look at their race, say, okay, you're white, you're an oppressor. If you're black, you're oppressed. And think about what that does to us.
Well, yeah, they do. And we've all heard about those where the teacher comes in and says, teacher has black student play slave. Sale. They have it here. Teacher has black students act like slaves. It's real. It does.
Tamika DeRozan says last week her son's 6th grade class was learning about the Louisiana Purchase, but that things took a bad turn when the teacher allegedly called the African American students to the front of the room to act like slaves for a skit.
Why wouldn't she have asked for volunteers, or why would she not have included any student of any race to just go up in front of the class to pretend?
DeRozan says white kids in the class were then asked to play noblemen. The concerned mother says she immediately...
Here we go. Ron DeSantis shouldn't be taught that U.S. is built on stolen land. Here we go. All right. Ron DeSantis says children shouldn't be taught that the U.S. is built on stolen land. Is it true? Of course it's not fucking true. Here we go.
The Russos have become nocturnal due to slow T-Mobile home internet.
Well, I'm up.
They can only use it when the rest of the neighborhood isn't online.
It's your turn to feed the owl, honey.
Why do I always have to feed the owl?
Because we tried to have a goat, but your dad ate it.
If you look around the country, they do have programs, unfortunately, well, they will take a student, look at their race, say, okay, you're white, you're an oppressor. If you're black, you're oppressed. And think about what that does to a 6 or 7-year-old kid. That's wrong. You're seeing that. You have people that are teaching, and actually his running mate has said this in the past, that teaching the United States was built on stolen land. That is inappropriate for our schools. It's not true. And I'm happy that we're going to be able to have accurate history, and we're going to make sure that we honor those who have sacrificed so that we can be free.
Wow. Okay, so he said that America is not built on stolen land. You just heard it, right? How Hawaii was stolen by the U.S. On July 16, 1893, United States troops invaded the Kingdom of Hawaii without just cause, which led to a conditional surrender by the Hawaiian Kingdom's executive monarch, Her Majesty Queen Luluakalani, the following day. This is actual history. This is not, Americans overthrow Hawaiian monarch. Sugar planters under Sanford Ballard Dowell overthrow Queen Luluakalani, the Hawaiian monarch. This is, it's not, I'm not making this up, right? Oh, here's the video. This is pretty cool. This one isn't an hour long. The top one, how Hawaii was stolen by the U.S. You can go watch that yourself. The dark history of the overthrow of Hawaii.